Welcome to Open for Business, the Gallatin Valley's only local business and consumer talk show featuring Tom Eaglehoff, the Man Entrepreneur Magazine radio called the leading authority in the United States for doing business in small town. Here he is, speaker, author, small business consultant, and Mrs. Eaglehoff's favorite son, Tom Eaglehoff.
All right, welcome everyone. Open for Business. We air every Saturday live from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Mountain Time on AM 1450 KMMS in Bozeman, 1340 KPRK in Livingston, Montana. If you'd like to be a part of the big broadcast, go to KMMSAM.com and click Listen Live. The call-in number during the show, 406-522-TALK, 406-522-8255. I'm here, you're here. Let's get the show on the road.
Let's get back to Open for Business on News Radio AM 1450 KMMS Bozeman. Lines are open at 522-TALK. That's 522-8255. Here he is. He's big, he's bad, and he's open for business. Tom Eaglehoff.
Welcome back, everyone. 24 minutes for the top of the hour. It is Saturday, August 26, 2017, 72 degrees outside. And I want to welcome you to the podcast portion of Open for Business. Each week I share some tips and tricks I've learned over the years about advertising, marketing, promotion, and building strong, successful businesses. And if you missed any of my previous podcasts, you'll find them all on my YouTube channel. And while you're here, why not subscribe to my YouTube channel? You'll never miss another weekly podcast. And you'll also find a link to my podcast on my website. 3,000 people visit every day at smalltownmarketing.com. That's smalltownmarketing.com. And today's topic, I want to talk about how to write a direct mail sales letter that gets results. Now, most advertising experts agree that if done correctly, direct mail is the best way to sell anything to anyone. Why is it so successful? Because direct mail uses a rifle approach rather than a shotgun approach. If I shoot a rifle at a target, I have to be precise in my aim. The target's very small. If I shoot the target with a shotgun, I have a better chance of hitting the target, but a lot of my shot also misses the target, so those pellets are wasted because they missed the target. The same is true in advertising. The more closely you can target your market and reach them with your advertising message, the better your result from that advertising will be. Almost any other form of advertising you could name uses the shotgun method. Direct mail is the only form of advertising that you can send to exactly who you want to reach. You can send one piece or a million. So in this podcast, I'll show you how different advertising methods compare to direct mail. Now compare direct mail in a small town to newspaper advertising. Let's say you're advertising farm equipment. While most farmers receive the newspaper for crop reports and other agricultural information, the residents of the town do too. Now the townspeople could care less about farm equipment because they're never going to purchase it. Yet you're spending part of your advertising dollars to reach them. So with direct mail, you could target specific farmers or specific rural routes. Now your response should be higher and your cost might be less depending on local newspaper rates. But at any rate, your cost per customer should be lower. Notice I didn't say cost per thousand, I said cost per customer. Now that you know a little about direct mail, let's talk about your direct mail letter. You always want to make a good first impression. So wouldn't you want to dress your best when making a sales call at a new prospect? Most of us would answer yes. So in the case of a direct mail letter, you're not physically making the call, but your mailing piece is. So your mailing piece should make the best impression it possibly can. So in this case, we're talking about your letterhead. Doesn't have to be expensive, but it should be well done. It can be black and white or color, but it should be on nice paper. I would recommend a nice white linen stock. I'd resist using colored paper for a letterhead. Basic white usually gets the best results. And I realize you're probably tempted to use a cheaper paper because of the size of the mailing, but remember, a few new high-quality customers should more than pay for the cost of the mailing, including the better paper. So who are you mailing to? Now, Microsoft Word has a feature called Mail Merge. What this means is that each direct letter can be personalized to the person it's addressed to. Instead of Dear Occupant, Current Resident, Dear Sir or Madam, it will say Dear Mr. Smith or Dear Mrs. Jones. Response is usually higher when personalization is used. Now, if you're not able to do this for some reason, try and be as specific as you can in generic personalization. Dear Gallatin County voter, for example. So why should they read your letter? Ever have a person start talking to you and right away you wish you were somewhere else? The reason being they've not captured your interest in what you're talking about. It's the same with your direct mail letter. The first paragraph must contain information they need or want that grabs their attention immediately, or your direct mail letter is destined for the wastebasket. In many cases, a question works well. For example, may I show you how your company is losing money each month with your current widget supplier? Or you might use an industry statistic. Are you aware that 8 out of 10 businesses fail because they do this one thing wrong? I would probably keep reading to find out what that one thing is, and more importantly, am I doing it wrong? Now, what are the bennies in your letter? Every product has a feature or features, but in order for your direct mailing to be successful, you must let people know what the benefit of each feature is. Now, keep in mind that a feature is what a product has, and a benefit is what a product does. So one of the most powerful benefits a product can offer is convenience. A handsaw will cut a board, but a skill saw can do the same job in 1/10 the time with less effort. The convenience of speed and effort outweighs the additional expense of the skill saw. The fact that a car has 4 doors doesn't mean much unless you can translate that into a benefit to the car buyer. The fact that it's easier for the kids to get in and out of the car may be the only benefit needed to make the sale. The fact that you transport your grandparents from time to time and it's easier for them to get in and out may be a substantial benefit. Might be easier to get 3 dogs in and out of the car. A real estate agent might need to show multiple houses to a family of 4, so who wants to climb over seats all afternoon? Stress benefits to your customer over and over in your letter and in your brochures. Now, if you can, use the power of a third party to reinforce your message. Has a friend ever recommended a movie or a good book to you? Chances are they probably have. We're much more comfortable trying something if we're familiar with someone else who recommends that product. Now, many products use spokesperson to deliver the selling message. Now, we may not actually know who the famous movie star is, but we often feel that we do. And if we like the person, we may very well buy the product based on the testimonial of the star. So in small town, there's stars too. Many small town business people are well known in the community. And if you've done work for these folks, ask them for a letter or a testimonial. If they don't know what to write about your business, then offer to write it for them and just have them okay it with a signature. If you've done a good job, people are happy to tell others. Many people would just open your letter and look at it. For these people, you need a way to make the important part of your letter stand out to them. The most common way is to use bold lettering. That makes text stand out from the text around it. Bold and a touch of color will also be noticed. Pick your phrases wisely when doing this. They should be short and sweet. Consider just bolding parts of sentences, not the whole sentence. And here are a few things I would suggest that you don't do. Avoid using all capital letters except in headlines, and even there I would use them sparingly. Don't underline words unless you're using a typewriter typeface. Before computers, underlining was the only way people had to emphasize text when using the old typewriter style. So use bold or italics instead. And be careful of using reverse text. Reverse text would be white text inside a black box to make it stand out. Don't use reverse text in all caps unless it's only 1 or 2 words. And never use reverse text in sizes lower than 18 points. Smaller type sizes may blur when printed and be difficult to read. So I like your message, so what do I do now? Well, if your direct mail letter has done a good selling job, the next part is to ask the customer to do something. This is commonly called a call to action. What a call to action does is ask the customer to do something and do it now. Don't wait. Make a phone call, mail in a card, stop by the store, redeem a coupon, call our toll-free 800 number, visit our website, and so on. Most people are more afraid of fear of loss than expectation of gain. So you might want to add limited time only, or supplies are limited to your offer if they are, or put an actual date when the promotion ends, or perhaps a discount on the first 500 received. There must be a reason to make the consumer act now, and not procrastinate. Now, a percentage of your customers will go right to the bottom of the letter to see who sent it. But right below that is the postscript, or PS, as it's commonly known. The PS is another chance for you to restate your offer and another call to action. Order before January 1st and receive your free gift. The postscript is one of the most powerful tools you can use in your direct marketing letter. Now, all these elements I mentioned are certainly important, but I've saved one more that's also important. When you write your letter, picture one customer in your mind and write a personal letter to that person. What would you say to them if they were here in person? What important parts would you like them to know about your business or product? The second part to remember is that people are emotional. They're not logical. When emotion and logic come in conflict, emotion always wins. So when you write your letter, it's important that you speak in terms of feelings and avoid the cold, hard facts. You'll want the facts in there, but express them in a warm, personal way, not a cold, impersonal way. Remember, you wouldn't speak to a good friend in a cold, impersonal way, so you don't want to do it in your sales letter. Share your rough draft with employees. They may spot customer concerns or product issues you might not be aware of. And always write in conversational language. Sound like a small business owner who wants to help, not a college professor. And that's the podcast. If you missed any of my previous podcasts, you'll find them all on my YouTube channel. And while you're here, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And you'll also find my podcast every week on my website that 3,000 people visit each day at smalltownmarketing.com. That's smalltownmarketing.com. So tune in each Saturday, and let's build some successful businesses together.